What is duality? Duality is basically the quality or state of having two different or opposing parts or elements. Duality means understanding reality by means of the opposites. You cannot know the hard without the soft, the short without the long, the hot without the cold, and so on. If there were no opposites, everything would lose its meaning. We are able to form concepts because of its opposites. I understand that heaviness exists because I can feel the opposite of lightness. If something has no opposite, its existence can't even be proved. We know what is because we know what isn't. Spiritually speaking, duality is the two sides in all things, including ourselves. Spiritual duality is recognizing and accepting that the shadow and light are all part of one existence, and they're all cycles of a continuous and interconnected life. Understanding duality is key to having a better quality of life. It's actually one of the most profound learning tools available because duality teaches us that every aspect of life holds opposing truths and they are all valid. Understanding and accepting the duality of all things is important because it allows us to see things from all angles and perspectives. The most important part of understanding duality is seeing that all perceptions are relative and therefore separate from physical reality. Knowing about duality helps us see challenges from all perspectives and harmonize all sides instead of focusing on what is right and wrong. It's when we want to see things from one perspective that we often suffer. And that's often how we end up staying in our stories. That's often how we stay victims. So with that said, ironically, this is how we achieve oneness. A person can only reach a level of oneness if they understand all of life's dualities. You will be able to understand life by seeing the perspectives and extremes presented by life. Oneness is also a sense of collaboration between the two extremes. These forces are not just opposites, they can also be complementary. Give yourself permission to explore all the parts of yourself, especially the ones that you have learned cannot coexist. Let's actually talk about non-duality. As you become more silent, grounding yourself to the present, you will realize that non-duality exists all around you, one eternal spirit in existence. When we're not really diligently doing the work, we're constantly being jerked around by our programming, by our trauma responses, by our righteousness, by our distractions, by our addictions, by our projections. We're just being dragged around. This is why the more and more you start to heal, the more and more you start to become more comfortable with yourself, the more and more you become more accepting of yourself, the less and less you feel the need to go into your addictions and your distractions and your projections, the more you will crave the silence. And then that becomes the new loop that you're creating for yourself. And so as you get more and more into this new reality of silence, groundedness, you start to see yourself more and more in the eye of the storm, zoomed out. I kind of see like the spiritual transcending journey. I see it as like a, you come in and then you zoom out. This is simply put interconnectedness. So non-duality is one eternal spirit. Everything is everything. Interconnectedness, non-separation, always here and now. In order to understand what non-duality is, you have to be in a state beyond words, thinking, or explanation. It's in this silence that you realize the new meaning. How can I just constantly be open to all perspectives and all possibilities. When I feel myself close in, I just like literally imagine it just like stay open, just bust it open. Let's just stay open. It's all relative. And I just always try to like stay in that zoomed out place. And that always helps me feel just so much more free. It just keeps me out of spirals. It keeps me out of suffering. It keeps me fluid. It keeps me staying open. It keeps me moving forward always. So the more I do the work and the more I heal myself, you can stay zoomed out because you can see this is not the same because you've done that work. And you stop projecting. You recognize when you're projecting. You stop transferring because you realize when you're transferring. And you see things more and more for what they are. You stay open. You don't close the box.